kid I could always draw, and my mother always made sure I took some art classes during vacations. And then she put me into art school, and I got a graphic arts degree from what is now Brooklyn Tech. And I worked a little bit in the production house doing commercial artwork in the early 70s, pre-computer, and I wasn't happy with it, so I went to the art school at the University of Memphis State and studied there with some of the Chicago School of Abstract Expressionists from the 60s and 70s, and it really gave me a more complete feeling as an artist and a lot of confidence. And not only did I sold my first oil painting, but I have one painting in the permanent collection at Memphis State University, as well as the War Memorial Museum in Nashville. They had their bicentennial art exhibition in 1976, and I won a purchase prize, and I have a piece there. So after all of that, I ran back to New York City to get a band together and go play CBGB's, which I did, but I got a job in display. I worked a little nasty display, and I did major display work at like Santa Land and Macy's. I designed those elves and all those crazy things. And 1979, the computer game exhibition show, when like Atari and all those things first came out in gimbals, I designed that whole computer wall there. I did Saks windows, and I did major walls up and down the East Coast. And then I got a job in construction and made like 4 times more money. With my graphics art degree, I was able to go into designing and then constructing co-ops in the village. I worked in Greenwich Village for 5 years doing co-ops. And now I make sculpture. I've been working in construction for about 25 years, but I was always like a manager. I started inspecting about 8 years ago, and I started like looking at the stuff I had. And there's just such a lot of things in different scales and materials that I never really noticed before. I'm a masonry inspector, so I make a mortar sample every day. So every day I have a little bit left over from my sample. So the first thing I made was, I think I lost the piece, it's right here. It was something like this. I just made a little square. And on the floor I picked up pieces of wood and made some uprights, verticals. You know, put a row of verticals together. And you have a conversation. It's kind of a classical design. And then when I photographed it, it like shape-shifted. It like became like this huge monument it looked like. So the people around me said, hey, this looks pretty cool. And I was off to the races. I was convinced that there was something going on with the water. And so I just proceeded. You know, I always work small because I'm in a small area and it gets very heavy. But then I started making larger pieces and using my knowledge of structural masonry and things like that. It's become more exciting. The space has become better rather than doing kind of reliefs. I find it easier working both sides. I mean, a lot of my work is pieces like this, which I make in a square mold, and this is 12 inches. I usually was working with 2 inch. But, you know, I'm never really sure what I'm going to make or which way I'm going to show it. This way is a sculpture. But, you know, on both sides, you know, you start getting into this kind of abstract expressionist kind of movement thing, and then, you know, you start thinking about cubism and drawing and scraping things away. And so, you know, I'm never sure. A lot of times I'll take a piece like this and wind up putting it up this way, and you know, making a head of a different sort, or an eye, or some other thing. Sometimes it's just purely abstract. This piece, I did a lot of pieces with these springs out this way, but somehow when I put them leaning back this way, it like took off. You know, so and also this is the back side that I cast down in the box. So I cast them both at the same time. So it'll be sand, and I put the rocks in and everything. So, you know, you get a different kind of organic shape. Where this is the controlled side. And, you know, little more time with it. But I just really enjoy it. These pieces just really, I just have no end to the inspiration I receive. And this picture here is of the Essex column, which I have in the South Mountain Reservation, which from a distance is very architectural, and you know, it looks like it's actually a deconstruction of a column. So, but the closer you get, the more you start seeing the interior and the two-dimensional qualities like this picture brings out. And the space is different. So I really have been flipping back and forth between the sculptural and the two-dimensional qualities of my work. And I haven't paid a lot of attention to it recently. So, but you know, keep going. Well, what could you expect when you come to my studio? Well, this piece, the other two pieces, which was on display here at 1978 Gallery, is going to the JCC for their alien jewelry art show. And I'm working on a new piece, so hopefully you'll see a new piece of mine, either done or in progress. And I'm thinking about leaving one in the mold, so I'll actually break the mold and show you how I take this thing out, because a lot of this is just free casting in a box, which is, I kind of invented a lot of new procedures for doing this. Okay, the Essex column, I do so many castings, and to make one of those cubes, sometimes there's 100 different castings in that box. But it's all done quickly, and I need an assistant, and so hopefully I have a new piece. I also have a couple of nice outdoor sculptures. Joanne has a beautiful garden, which is always special at that time of the year. And I plan to have my best pieces shown without a lot of clutter. Usually I throw everything out there. And also I've been starting to have some small pieces, so you can make your own little design or take a favorite piece, whatever, for, you know, it's inexpensive. You know, $10 or something like that. So, you know, we always have good refreshments, and hopefully see good artwork. I usually have a pretty good attendance. I get about 40 people, so, you know, I think it'll be good. I really thank you for the opportunity.